All right, so I have been working on a project that I am so freaking excited to tell you about. So let's jump into my Substack that I've been working on. So my writing journey started in high school. I used writing as a form of therapy, specifically poetry mostly, as a form of therapy with all of my health stuff. And I almost went to college for creative writing, which would have been such a wildly different journey. Instead, I went to college for entrepreneurship. So I kind of stopped writing for several years, and writing had been a huge part of my life, and it just kind of ended. And it was really sad because in high school, I was literally submitting everywhere I could my writing. I just wanted to get it out there. I wanted to connect with people. I would go to poetry readings. I would do all this stuff. Whew, I'm having a hot flash. And I just kind of stopped once I went to college. I did submit, I think, once or twice to my university's, I think it was called the Main Street Journal or something. I don't know. I would submit to it, but I wasn't really focused on it. And so in the last year, I've gotten back into writing. I wrote 100 poems in January, which is crazy. And literally, I just was so inspired. And then a year ago, I started writing this book, which was really exciting, about my health journey. The first part of it is my story. And then the second part is a handbook on how to be a prepared patient and all of the things I've learned from more than 13 years now of chronic illness. And so that was kind of my first foray back into writing. I submitted somewhere earlier this year. I got into that place, which was really exciting. And now I've been going to creative writing class that my high school creative writing instructor has been giving at a local library. It's virtual, or through a local library, I should say. And so I've been going to creative writing class once a month. So I've been putting work into my writing. What's great about the writing is that it's super accessible for me. So when I feel inspired, when I have energy, I write. If I don't have energy for 2 months, I don't write for 2 months, and that's okay. And so I've been working on a Substack, which is actually kind of wild. I've never put my poetry or my writing out there in any other way, really. And so I want to talk about that journey. I'm so freaking excited. I want to show you what I've been working on. I want your feedback. I want your thoughts. I want this to be, I call it a home for my writing, but I want it to feel like this intimate, warm space that you can come hang out. I want to share my poetry. I want to share some essays. I have so many essays that I have written and not published or edited. Editing for me is so hard. For me, poetry is one and done. I write it, I don't edit too much, and I put it out there. And when I say put it out there, I let my parents read it. But the problem with essays is that the perfectionism with my autism gets up here, and there's so many edits that I have to go through before I feel good about it, that it's good enough to be published, which is not great. And so I don't have any essays yet on my Substack. But then I also have a couple other areas where I used to have a monthly newsletter that I put out for a couple years, and I would share my favorites from the month, my favorite quote from the month. It was basically things to inspire. So it was my favorite quote, favorite article from the month that I found inspiration from. It was my favorites from the month, including my favorite photos that I'd taken that month, and all, just different stuff from my life. And I might get back into that again. I don't know. I made a space for it on my Substack, but I also realized how unpredictable my health still is. And the only thing that I can really commit to is my vlog once a week. Everything else is just kind of up in the air. But I also have this place called Meditations on Life. I used to, and I still do sometimes, write realizations or meditations, kind of like Marcus Aurelius's meditations, where I just write little snippets of thoughts, ideas, things that come to me. And sometimes I think other people might find them interesting. So I created an ongoing Substack post for that. So I don't know. Let me show you around. I'm so nervous to do this, but yeah, I got to get over my perfectionism and just show you as I'm working on it in the moment. Oh my God, my arm hurts so bad. Okay, I got to put you down and I got to show you. Let's do this. So first of all, this is the adorable logo that I came up with. How freaking cute is that? It is a cat on the chimney. Oh my God. All right, let's dive in. All right, y'all, so I officially have 9 subscribers. I'm so freaking excited. One of them is me, one of them is my mom, one of them is my dad. But, it's nice not having too many subscribers yet because I'm just playing, right? I'm playing around. I'm looking at different things. And if I had a bunch of subscribers, the stakes would go way higher. So this is the front page of A Home for My Writing. And if you go under poetry, the poems that I've written so far and posted are protest poetry. I felt very, very inspired with recent events. And so I have a series of 9. The other 3 are still in drafts, and I'm still working on putting them out there. But these are some of my poems. Oh my God, I can't read any of these out loud. Like, I literally physically can't. My poetry is meant to be like looked at and not read aloud. So just, pause the screen if you want to read this, zoom in, read it. Go check out my Substack if you want to read the poetry. Substack is a little confusing still, and I get confused on the different things that I'm clicking and where they're taking me. So this is my poetry page. Personal essay page, like I said, I don't have any up yet. So that is still to be decided. This is the meditations on life I was telling you about. I only have 2 so far, but I call it a collection of my innermost thoughts, reflections, realizations, and snippets from my mind that I feel might resonate with other people. And I do have a collection from the past several years, and so I'm going to add this to the master list over time. Substack is a great way to generate AI images, which makes it just a lot easier because I've always struggled with knowing, like, where do I find stuff that's free that I can use to illustrate my stuff. So these were just 2 random little snippets. Maybe I found myself as a writer and then switched to entrepreneur, and I'm now switching back to writer again. Maybe I'm both and always have been, and had to live as each to intertwine them. It's deep for me. It's okay if it's not for you. And then this was a little snippet about social media and why it's so draining to me because of all the energy I'm picking up and interacting with in such a short amount of time. So of course it feels overwhelming to me. So this is something that, like, I will just add stuff to this over time, and it won't update people. The cool thing about this is that if I make a new post, it will update people, and you can change your settings, but you can actually get it as like a newsletter format, and you can get it sent to your email. But you can also choose from A Home for My Writing and decide like which of these you want to be notified by as well, which is really cool. So the meditations on life will always just have this like one post, but I'll update it like within the post. And then also what's kind of cool is you can post almost like social media. So on my own personal page, I will do posts here like it's social media, and I put like a quote here: "Those who don't build must burn," from Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It was in the James Clear newsletter. And then here was one of my meditations. So I'm posting like on their social media my meditations on life, but then they'll go into the master list on this one. Then my monthly scrapbook, I don't have any up yet, but like I said, I used to have a monthly newsletter. Might do that again. Stay tuned. Having like a photo scrapbook, video scrapbook, which are my vlogs, and then the top inspiration from the month, like quotes, articles, etc. And then inspiration, again, I don't have any up yet, but I might, the same as Meditations on Life, have one document of like the biggest inspirational quotes that I absolutely love, and just have a master doc of that, or have a master doc of like the articles that I absolutely adore, and just put them here for other people to be inspired by. The archive, it just shows all of the articles, not broken down, just like all of them. And then the about section, oh, so cute. It's just, I made this logo, like I said, made all of this, and then it's just like a little bio. So my question is, out of all of that, what interests you the most? Please, like, go check out the Substack if you want. Like, go read my poetry. I'm not really asking for like, oh, do you think this is a good poem or not? But just like, does something resonate with you? Do you have suggestions on the Substack, how I'm presenting it? My poetry is really just for me. And then again, if it resonates with someone else, that's what poetry is. It's so personal. One person can read it and be like, I don't understand what this person was trying to say. This meant nothing to me. And another person can read it and be like, life-changing. Yeah, like, read the poetry. If you find any typos or anything, like, please comment them either on this video or in Substack. That's the other thing. You can comment on Substack posts, which is like so cool and so much more interactive. And so like, I want to get interaction. I love any comment, anytime anyone comments on my YouTube and it's something that's not mean. It like fills my heart. It makes my week. And so to get some sort of interaction with my writing would be so cool. So yeah, I'm just looking on thoughts, feedback. What else other than poetry is interesting to you? So like those meditations on life, is that interesting? The inspirations, like having me post, the articles that have been really changing my mind about certain things or that were enlightening to me, or quotes that I really love. The monthly scrapbook, is that something that you would want to subscribe to again? I mean, I used to have a MailChimp and it would go out literally every month. Then my health just got so bad that I couldn't do it. And so I would do a different version of that. Like, I put so much time and energy into that newsletter. So this would be just like a tiny tiny little thing compared to how it was, but it's a touch point with my community. You know, like it was so cool to have that newsletter years ago where I could update people on my life, and I loved reading other people's newsletters too that were like life updates, and I could let them know what was going on, and then that was a touch point. They would respond, we'd have like a conversation. It was just such a good way to like interact with people. I've missed that. Social media is like not really the same. So I'm thinking of migrating my MailChimp subscribers, letting them know like, hey, I'm taking this contact list, moving it over to Substack. If you want to not subscribe, that's okay too. Totally fine. But my Substack has so much more now. Doesn't mean I'm going to be posting all the time on it. Like I think with my poetry, I posted maybe once a day for like 3 days, and then I didn't post for like a month. So it's not like I'm posting all the time. I'm posting when my health allows to. But then stuff like the inspiration documents, those you would get an email newsletter like once about them when I post them. And then if you subscribe after, you wouldn't get a notification anyway. And then they would just like live there and I would update them. Nobody would get notified about it. You'd have to like come to the document itself to see any updates. So it really, the only place I would be posting would be the monthly scrapbook, which would be once a month, and then the poetry and personal essays, unless I add more and have more ideas. So I don't know, it's kind of like a playground for me to just like explore my creativity, my ideas, potentially explore topics that would go in my book, which I'm also kind of, you know, possibly trying to do on my YouTube channel as well. And just have it as like this creative place to explore, make mistakes, see like what I enjoy writing about, like connect with people in my writing. I love that. I miss that so much, connecting with people about my writing. I don't know. I don't understand Substack very well yet. Like I get so confused between like my Substack, which is a home for my writing, versus my own personal page, which is just Sierra Ryan Wallach. And then the posts that are like a social media post, but then you can also start a podcast on there, which is really cool. So like I'm just exploring a lot. You can do live video on there. Like there's a lot you can do with Substack, and I've seen so many writers, so many business people, leadership people, journalists, so many different types of people who have newsletters and they've just started doing a Substack newsletter instead of MailChimp. I have so much cat hair on my face. So I don't know. It seems really exciting. I also love website design so much. And so this is just like fun for me to kind of explore. I would love to hear anyone's thoughts. If you've done Substack before, what was your experience? What tips and tricks do you have? If you're a writer, have you thought about starting a Substack? I really want to kind of document this journey. And so this is just kind of my initial thoughts, but I would love to hear anyone's thoughts. Like if you had a thought while you were watching this video, please comment it below, because that means so much to me to hear directly from people. Because if I don't, I'm just like, I'm talking out into the void, into the ether, and nobody's talking back, and it feels very sad and lonely. And so I want to hear. Also, I don't know if you can see this poem. This is Desiderata. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but this poem is like life-changing to me. Speaking of like writing and poetry, right? I was given this poem in like a cat book format when I was a kid by one of my mom's friends, and it was like incredible. And so for my mom's birthday, maybe last year, I got my mom this poem. So every time you open the door, it's like right there and you can look at it, which is really cool. So yeah, so much poetry. I'm on Atticus's Substack too. He's like a famous poet. So much writing inspires me. And so if you've also been inspired by writing that you think I should check out, like please let me know. My creative writing instructor was like, you need to read more Emily Dickinson. You need to read, like she had all these other names that I didn't even recognize that she was like, you need to read. And so yeah, I'm like super into poetry right now. So please send me suggestions. All right, I'm gonna go explore more. I'll keep you all updated on the exploration process, and please, please, please comment any thoughts you had. Just mind dump them, because I want to interact. I want to be friends. I want to hang out. Now that I'm on the prednisone for just a little bit longer, I just have this burst of energy to be social and creative. So please comment. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon, my friends. Bye.